So first.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Click.
Welcome back. I'm Grace and this is Marty, and we are the authors of Tent for Seven here this weekend to answer a great question that I love answering because I'm always fascinated with the titles of books and how people came up with them. And so that is the question we are answering today is, how did you come up with the title Tent for Seven, a camping adventure gone south out west?
It's really two parts, right? The two parts.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that was not, well, I guess most books probably don't start with the first title that they picked, but that was not the original title.
Was quite different, actually.
It was very different. And you had the first one, so what was it?
Well, there's a little backstory to the first one. And, you know, people were kind of going, you guys are nuts. You're taking 5 kids out west.
5 kids.
For a 2-week
5
plus.
kids, and we were all like, I mean, you guys started taking us camping when we were like a 2-year-old.
2 to 12,
so like,
yeah.
what, 2, 4, 8, 9, 10? I mean, I don't know how old we were, but I can tell
pretty,
you now.
It was pretty crazy.
I would not be taking 5 kids camping.
So
I wouldn't be taking 5 kids anywhere.
It was sort of anyway, when we came back from this particular trip, the 10 for 7 trip, people had already heard about it when we got back and all the stuff that had happened. And one of our friends, what's his friend? Paul.
Yeah.
Worked at the Observer, the Charlotte Observer, the Charlotte paper.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going, you should get a blurb in the paper. There's and so it got printed in the Observer, the 500-word version of the story. Took up half a page on the section. And I went into work a couple days after the article was printed. And on the bulletin board, the article had been cut out, posted on the bulletin board, and it had a big post-it with an arrow pointing to my face, and the post-it said, "Don't ever take a vacation with this man."
That became the title of the original manuscript.
First title of the book.
Don't ever take a vacation with this man.
And we talked last week about disagreements. I thought that was a great title. If that was up to me, that would still be the title. But,
yes. Well,
you took over, and what happened?
Well, the biggest thing was the title was, don't ever take a vacation with this man. And if you want to say do not, that's even like not, it's way too long.
Well,
and
a 10 for 7, camping adventure.
But that's a subtitle, totally different.
So we're still not quite in agreement on this.
See, in this day and age, though, I feel like titles like Educated, Unbroken, Wild, they're one word. And so I actually would, keeping with that trend, I was like, is there one word that describes our book? And there just wasn't. 10 for 7, I thought, was original and it was catchy. And most people don't have tents for 7 people. But 10 for 2. Yes. Well, that sounds actually pretty cute. 10 for 2. But anyways, 10 for 7 is just sort of a unique thing. And then for the subtitle, I love a good play on words. The premise of the book is that we took this camping trip and everything went south. And the camping trip took place out west, and so it just, in brainstorm, I probably thought of it 3 in the morning. That's when all my good ideas come to me.
We were going back and forth on, and that actually leads to another little discussion we've had.
Yes.
This also not really resolved, other than
unresolved, and I'm sure some of you listening to this are going to have an opinion on this. No, I don't want your.
Yeah, we want
because it's printed. It's
okay.
A camping adventure gone south out west. There has been certain people have thought that it should be a camping adventure out west gone south, and have felt strongly about that. But ultimately, it's
2-1.
A camping adventure gone south out west. Because we also thought about camping adventures gone south out west, and ultimately we did not want people to pick it up and think that each chapter was its own independent adventure, because it's not.
It
and
was a 14-day adventure,
right?
And the outtakes actually were adventures also, but we didn't want those to interfere with the main
story,
the main arc.
Yeah. And while we're sort of talking about the title, I guess we could throw in the cover. We'll give you a bonus question, bonus answer. Although there's really not much story to the cover. You'd have to ask our publisher, Sandra, because she really came up with the cover herself. She designed it. And I will say a bit kind of a backstory. Initially, about a year ago when she designed the original cover, it was different than the cover we ended up going with. It had a more serious tone about it. And I thought the original cover was I loved it. I mean, she captured exactly what I would have wanted. But ultimately, we changed it up, and we decided that the cover that we went with represents the tone of the book better. It's a lighter, more humorous. But I will say the one thing I said about the cover, I said there has to be a bear on the cover.
Oh, yeah, gotta be a bear.
I said I don't.
Wanted like 5 or 6 bears.
I said just put a bear on the cover. I don't care what you do with the rest of it, which is not true. I did care about all of it, but the one thing I was like, you got to put a bear on the cover.
And it can't.
So that is.
That's today's question and a half.
Yeah, question and a half.
Right.
And we will be back next week. And as always, feel free to leave your questions down below, and we look forward to answering your questions next weekend.
Great. Thank you.